So I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, okay, well, so you can always race a car, but you can't race a mother.
That's uncanny.
So, welcome to episode 2 of the Flat Tyre. I'm Kishan Sandagar, and to the left and right we have Ramsey Estefan and Brandon Abu Zaidan.
Oh,
what
thanks.
up, homies? Nice to be back.
Yeah, no, it was good. Episode 1 was cool.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
We got some words to say this
Zoom
time.
in on Keishan's face when he struggles.
So, episode 1 was awesome. I enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it?
I did.
I did.
It was good.
I enjoyed being here at the wonderful Choice Automotive. They're letting us film our podcast here again. There's the trusty old Dodge Challenger. The engine is sitting behind the camera. You can't see it because that's not how cameras work. The wonderful Chevy truck. It's kind of in frame.
Behind me.
And they're a beautiful shop. So thanks, Choice Automotive, for having us again. Today, we're going to be talking about some topics, talking to each other about those topics, and then talking to you guys about your opinions on those topics. So who wants to go first?
Let's kick it off with just a quick update about the GR Yaris. So last week when I spoke about it, the car was still in its rumor phases, and it was still wrapped with that camo stuff. You know how manufacturers do that to disguise like the shape of the body. They put that camo wrap on it.
Oh, yeah,
when they're in testing because they know people are going to spy on it and stuff. So it has been officially announced. It is the most powerful inline 3-cylinder engine on the market today.
It also might be the most powerful Toyota has ever built because their cars are freaking boring.
Is it a BMW engine?
You know what?
Anyways, so a couple cool facts now that we have official information from Toyota. You can split the front wheel drive, rear wheel drive ratio to 30% to the front, 70 to the rear, which means drift, right?
Electronically?
Kind of.
I would assume. I don't imagine there's a dial under the car.
So you can skid about. The car is it's fastest when it's in 50-50, obviously. It only comes in a manual.
Really?
And
that's pretty cool.
Only a manual.
That's really cool.
And people are thinking, like, it's been said that this will be a mass-produced car, which means it's a homologation car for the masses, coming in at roughly 28,000 British pounds, which is equivalent to 48,000 Canadian dollars. That is if we get it. If we do get it, it's probably going to be some down-tuned, boring automatic with just a badge on it.
Probably.
But so there was the GRMN Yaris. That
Garmin.
So that
is
one
a
was
GPS.
extremely rare. This one is aimed at
People.
a cool Yaris that is just going to be everywhere, which is awesome. And I wonder whoever owns a Focus RS or a Golf R, if they would do upgrade. I don't know if that's an upgrade or if they
No,
would
it'd be
switch.
a downgrade.
Would it be a downgrade? Why so?
RS has 300 horse. Golf R has like 285,
Yeah.
but from turbo 4 cylinders. So, I mean, you have more torque right off the bat there,
It's a little fucked up.
and probably a better all-wheel drive system because it's
It's a rally car.
well, it's not
Yeah.
just that. It's because they've been doing that chassis with 4-wheel drive for long enough to know what works and what doesn't. This is kind of newer for Toyota's whole department. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is new.
No, that's true. It's the first generation of this new platform, I guess. Would that be a first generation of this new platform?
Well, yeah,
Would you consider?
small hot hatch 4-wheel drive for Toyota. Yeah, I mean, unless you
Yeah.
count K cars, but I don't know which
It's a pretty
ones.
beautiful looking car.
Well, I mean, Toyota did have the old Celica, which was an all-wheel drive, the GTS.
That was a
right?
bigger car though than a Yaris.
Yeah, it isn't a hot hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty nice looking car. Pretty underwhelming interior. And nice little two-tone black and white. Nice big brakes on it. The rear window looks tiny. That is some pretty terrible visibility. Anyways, that's just a quick update.
It looks like the same visibility as the CHR, though. Remember those tiny windows in the back?
Yeah, they were
Like you
so
feel
small.
kind of claustrophobic. in
Very,
it?
very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
That's that 90 millimeter roof drop though.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is truth.
Raindrop,
And I can't.
roof drop.
I can't imagine that rear wing actually doing anything. But anyways, just a quick update on the GR Yaris because hot hatches are becoming increasingly less apparent. People like big cars and SUVs. SUVs are the most popular.
They're on the
form
boom at the
factor
moment.
of cars.
Yeah.
So that's the GR Yaris. A couple other cars I'd like to discuss in the news. Audi has released the new Audi e-tron
Of
GT.
course, you go to a Volkswagen product.
Audi-
Dude,
Audis-
that looks pretty cool.
Audis are just spicy Volkswagens, for anyone wondering. So the Audi e-tron GT is this beautiful looking saloon. Is it a sedan or a saloon? I'm going to go with saloon.
Saloon.
It's a super electric saloon. So it has a 96 kilowatt hour battery.
What does that translate?
What does that mean?
Less than my
Not
vape.
sure. However,
actually, I do have the translate. I'm not sorry to cut you off. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1.34 horsepower. I
interesting.
have it written down. But
So it has 590 horsepower. It can do 0 to 100
crazy.
kilometers per hour, because I don't know what a mile is.
This is Canada, and we do the metric system. You know, there's only 3 places in the world that still hasn't adapted the metric system. It's like America, Nepal, and some like tiny island.
Metric is kilometers and
Yeah,
centimeters.
imperial is like your miles, your foot, your yard. What the fuck is a
Yo,
yard?
I have a yard.
Oh, buddy, that's only about 5 yards away. Sorry, can you speak English?
What size yard? Is it a corner lot or is it a whatever? Anyway, it
God
does 0 to
damn it.
100
Your
in.
joke doesn't come yet. What do you mean?
I have a great joke today. Just wait. So 0 to 60, 0 to 100, sorry, in 3.5 seconds. Another interesting fact about the Audi e-tron, it will be sharing pretty much the same platform as the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. Yes, I will get to the name of that in a second. Slightly less powerful than the Taycan, than the Taycan Turbo S. However, it does not cost as much. It will be almost the exact same dimensions as the Taycan Turbo S, and it will share many technologies. Also, I
Taycan
know
Sam,
they gave
bro.
up on the Audis. I have not given up. It will be given to the graceful hands of Audi's RS division, and this will be the first electric RS vehicle ever.
That's pretty crazy, except
I'm excited. When I read that, I was excited.
you're going to go on Turo and try and rent one?
I'd love to.
Good luck.
There's actually a GTR on Turo right now. It's like $370 a day.
Poor GTR.
You have to be 30 years old though.
Yeah, I
Poor
bet.
GTR.
And it says you will be charged for
Launching it?
wear. It will be documented. So I'm thinking these guys got cameras in the car and stuff.
Or he's just going to come out with a tread measure each time. He's like, yeah, this is went down by 1 millimeter, sir.
Yeah. So the e-tron is still in its pre-production phase. It has not hit the streets. However, I'm just going to briefly touch on the Taycan Turbo S because it's such a similar car. It's an absolutely beautiful car. I don't know if you guys have seen it. We'll get to the name again in 1 second. This is a $213,000 vape on wheels, basically.
True.
It's got a battery, and it does 0 to 60, 0 to 100, not 60, in 2.8 seconds.
Please don't yell at our audience. It's not their fault.
I'm sorry. I don't understand, Miles. I get mad at myself. So the goal with the Taycan Turbo S was to give drivers the feel of a Porsche 911, but practicality of a Porsche Panamera. You got 4 people in the car, and it has a 93, slightly smaller battery actually, but it has a 450 kilometer range and 750 horsepower. So I don't understand about electric cars. Like, if you sacrifice range, can you just get a lot of power out of it? No.
No, it all comes down to the motor unit itself.
The engine, you mean?
Motor.
The engine?
Motor unit.
Okay. Anyway,
For those that don't understand that little dispute between Brandon Ramsey, Brandon knows by fact that motor means electric and engine is a combustion engine.
An ice.
Engine. And Ramsey interchangeably changes them because he thinks
See you
miles
after the
is the correct
podcast.
unit of measure.
throw down in the parking
And
lot.
But it will throw up.
I guess people are going to throw up and throw down.
So that's a bit
jump up and
about
get down.
that's a bit about some German super electric saloons. Another extremely random fact about the Porsche Taycan Turbo S before we talk about the name and the obvious elephant in the name. So it has an electric fuel door on the side where you just caress it with your finger and the door goes like "Nyeh." So like when it senses there's ice
Sorry,
and it's colder outside,
What does the door do?
You flick it and it goes like it opens on its
No,
own.
what was that noise? There, okay.
Yeah, so
Just wanted to clarify.
the motor for that electric door sends, I think, like 20% more power to that door when it senses there's ice and cold weather outside, because it's just assuming that it's frozen stuck. I could have used that today because my trunk got stuck closed and I had to climb through the back seats to get my belongings.
Volkswagen problems.
Canadian problems. And
Canadian Volkswagen problems.
my Volkswagen was made in Mexico,
Shout out to
actually,
Volkswagen
so
Canada.
Mexican Volkswagen problems. Anyways, that's a bit about German super saloons. Yes, it's very easy to compare these to a Tesla Model S. However,
I'd rather the Tesla.
Would you?
Okay, this is what I want to talk
Yeah.
about. So obviously, straight line performance, you can match them up, but in almost every other application, I don't think these are a good rival. Like there's no
No, you're
rivalry.
right. Because
They're
one
aimed
is
at different.
one is a daily driver. The other one is a car you buy because it's just going to appreciate in value, and it just sits in people's driveways.
What? You talking bad about the Porsche?
No, I'm talking about a car that's made by a high-end automaker that they're not going to produce a lot of, and like
Talking
every
about the
other,
Taycan. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
it's just going to sit in someone's garage.
I don't know, because the Tesla, a lot of people said the same thing. Who's going to buy the Tesla? But now, driving around Ottawa, I see at least 2, maybe 3 a day.
No, but I didn't say no
What
one's
up,
going to
Elon
buy
Musk?
the Taycan. I said people aren't going to drive them.
Why wouldn't they?
I will
Very
wait.
expensive.
Well, what's
It's
the
at
price on it?
$213,000.
Okay, I see what you mean.
And it's just like every like a Ferrari. People just let Ferraris
Yeah.
sit. They just let because they just
Well,
want the
it's
monies
a s-
afterwards.
It's a supercar, and it's a new electric supercar. So I understand where the
good.
market. It would be a niche market, 100%.
It's also not a
the
daily.
Tesla's cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also not a daily
Okay.
driver though. The Taycan wouldn't be a daily driver.
It could be though. Why couldn't it be?
I like the two-tone wheels. It's got like
It's like
this
it's like
color-matched rim.
It's electric though.
So
I like what they did with the rim, where it's the same as the Kia Forte, with the wheel, the plastic wheel inserts on the wheel that you can remove.
God. So, moving on, just to address the elephant, it's called.
Can we get an elephant counter in the video for how many times you've said elephant?
It's
so far?
called a Taycan Turbo S. How do you feel about that name, with it being an electric vehicle?
I just think of Toucan Sam.
Taycan Sam, bro. Right?
You
Is that
got
what
it.
you going for? I
Yeah.
totally stole his
Right.
joke.
So
Robo
they
Taycan.
use the name Turbo, which is absolutely silly. I think they couldn't have just called it a Taycan S.
Yeah, no, I don't know why they'd put turbo.
I don't think there's a single
It's not a
turbo.
hybrid.
There is not a
No.
single
It's
turbocharged spinny boy in there.
Is it to kind of like maybe push the name from like the 911 Turbo or something into something?
I'll have to do a bit of
to
further
market?
I
research.
think it's to keep the name because that's how they model their cars. It's always like 911, 911 Turbo, 911 Turbo S, 911 Turbo S, GT4, GT3
okay.
kind of thing. So it's just
That
to
makes
keep
sense.
with their, just like how Mercedes does, C300, C350, C400. I mean, it's not a 300 horsepower engine in the base model car, but that's just how they do their, say like a 3 liter, 3.4 liter, 4
Okay.
liter. It's just it's their naming. It's how they keep
Consistency, basically.
consistency along
Yeah.
their model line.
No, that's fair. So there also is available just a Taycan Turbo, or just they're like a base model essentially. Doesn't cost as much, slightly less powerful, might not look as cool, but I'm excited to see one on the road, and I'd love to drive one again. If you have one,
So Ramsey doesn't want to buy his own cars. He just wants to drive other people's cars.
well,
you notice
I'm not going to spend $200. If I had $200,000 to spend on a car, I would
buy-
not buy one car.
Yeah. I'll buy multiple Miatas because guess what, guys? Guess
bought
who
one
owns a Miata?
I bought one too. Anyway,
Speaking of new cars, I don't know if you guys have. Well, it's not really a new car, but it's so this it was shown at the Singapore Auto Show. It's from Subaru. Okay.
Okay.
So a relatively boring car company. It's called the Subaru Forester Unlimited Customized Kit Special.
That's one car. Is that like?
Yeah, the Subaru Fux.
Oh wow.
Forester Unlimited Customized Kit Special.
I'm looking this up. Wait a second.
This is fake.
So-
it has to be fake.
No, it's
Ultimate. The Subaru Forester Ultimate Custom.
Sorry, yeah, Ultimate. It's blue with red accenting,
Wow.
which is kind of a weird, like, pimp my ride vibe. Hang on. It has an STI interior, Enkai wheels.
Yo, this thing fucked.
The Fux is officially affiliated
Oh
with
my god, it's
Subaru.
actually the initials are Fox.
Yeah, it's displayed in the booth, right, like with Subaru, and it just says, Forester Ultimate Customized Special or Kit Special right there. And I don't know how they missed it, but it's weird because the car is blue. It's got red accents and then acid green calipers.
Dum.
So it's literally just a whole bunch of Need for Speed Underground 2. But the fact that somebody greenlit this abbreviation.
I love how they bolded the first letter of
Yeah.
each word and made it like twice the size of the rest of the word.
So like in case you missed it, it still said just Subaru Fux.
What country is it from, that green list?
Is this at the Tokyo Auto Salon?
The Singapore Auto Show, yeah.
So maybe there's like a translation issue.
Another thing I've noticed, it's got
Still,
tinted taillights and underglow.
get the fuck
Da-da-dum,
out of
dum,
here.
dum.
Is that a factory thing?
Yeah, this is a thing. This is official. They're officially like,
Like you could walk into a Subaru dealership wherever this is available and be like, I would like to purchase a Subaru Fux.
well, I don't know if you would say that, but I mean, you would customize
Well,
this
who
car
has time to say the 5-word name?
It's a good look though.
It looks great. Honestly, if you were to take away all the weird color accents, I like the wing. I like the front bumper, how it sits low.
I kind of like the color accents. I just don't,
I don't
like the acid
red.
green.
I don't know. I'm looking at a blue one here.
Yeah, it's the only that's the only car,
blue- I don't
car
like
we've
that.
It's the only car we've seen is that blue.
Do you see this red strip
Yeah.
across here and the hood? That accent just kills. Is it? Do you know what motor is powering this vehicle?
We don't. They didn't. It's not something they showed. But
I don't
we're
think it's
hoping-
electric either.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever.
They haven't made an electric car yet, have they?
No, it's because Ramsey said motor instead
Oh.
of engine. God damn it, Ramsey.
So I would assume if it's ultimate customized kit, you would have ideally options, right? So you could probably
Yeah,
get
so
an STI motor in it or whatever 2.5
STI what?
STI motor.
Yeah, we're fighting. Yeah, so I think what they've done is they've just put out as many of the options that you can get because obviously it's for an auto show. So I think they just put every option. They just ticked every box on this car, put it out there just to be like, these are your available options, and I would assume you can just customize
okay.
it. Do you remember the Nissan Juke when we were working there?
Yes.
Okay, so we all know the Nissan Juke, right?
Yeah, pretty ugly
Okay, so when I
SUV.
was working there, there was this color program you can get. It was like options that you buy for a car, but it was like a color accessory kit for the car. So the factory wheels got swapped out with the same factory wheels, but they had color accenting between the spokes. You got colored mirror caps, colored center caps. What else? Some like color stick-on double-sided tape body accents throughout the car. Some of them were okay, but you can get colors like yellow, and they'd always be on like the worst colored car to be yellow on.
Did people actually order this? Like, was it popular?
Yeah,
Did it cost a lot?
I don't know. I would assume the wheels would.
Yeah.
because it wasn't like you could just buy it individually. Like if you just wanted the colored center caps or the mirror caps.
That's weird. But thank you for showing me this car.
I can't believe you haven't seen this yet.
I haven't seen it. That actually cracks me up.
But the interior is nice.
I love it. It's 2020 and manufacturers still make silly mistakes. And
I don't know if this is a mistake though.
honestly, they probably like disguise it as a mistake, but in reality, it got us talking about the car, right?
They don't
I
want to.
don't know
Yeah.
any other cars that were at this auto show.
Yo, for real though, I fucks with this car.
Kind of sounds like Fox. I can imagine whoever named it was not
If
prolific in English.
if any
so
of the viewers are from Singapore or know the language like Malaysian or something, let us know if there's actually a translation of Fox. Does it mean something else in the language?
Well, it
I'm
stands
kind of
for-
curious. I'm curious.
Subaru said the naming of this vehicle is no way reflects the value or the standards we hold true.
Okay.
but they're officially affiliated with this.
Okay.
So it wasn't like somebody just did a Forester booth beside Subaru. Subaru was like, yes, put that beside us. That'll look great. Fuck.
How much would it cost to get one of these?
I don't know.
In this article here, it says the execution leads us to believe that either its builders had no clue or they simply gave no, well, fuck.
I like that.
That cracks me up. Moving on, speaking of auto shows, namely auto salons, because salon and saloon just way cooler than saying auto show and sedan. So the Tokyo Auto Salon.
I wonder if you know.
Is I think so today, the day we are filming this, is
I'm not good.
how they live in Tokyo. The day we are filming this podcast is the final day of the Tokyo Auto Salon for 2020. Couple cars I would like to show you guys because they are awesome. So the first car being, a 20th anniversary rendition of the Honda Civic EK.
Cool.
Looks pretty cool. Got some futuristic lights, and the EK Civic, the EK9 Type R, championship white, legendary car. Just pretty cool that the manufacturer decided to do this, and it's even got a digital dash. I didn't notice that. That's pretty sweet. So I'll throw some photos up of that. That is pretty cool. Moving on, next car I'd like to talk about is the Liberty Walk R34 GTR swapped with an old school L28 triple carbureted motor and crazy
Okay, now
body.
you're doing this on purpose.
I'm actually not.
Engine.
Triple carbureted motor. And
No motor, no sport.
someone took an R34 GTR and they put an old school Nissan engine in it and they put some old school livery and it looks freaking amazing.
I think it would look even better without the Liberty Walk, though. I'm just so tired of seeing Liberty Walk fucking Skylines and Ferraris.
They look good, man. There's a really nice Liberty
They
Walk
are cool,
Miura at the show.
Miura?
Lamborghini Miura?
Oh.
Another car which doesn't exist still is the GTR 50. It has almost double the horsepower
The
of...
Ital design one? Is that the one you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Ital design. Is it real or is it a Nissan concept?
No, I'm pretty sure it's real.
It's real. There's a photo of it at the show, but is that ever going to come to be?
They said they're going to build 50 of them.
Oh,
and they're going
that's
to be
lame.
and they're at like $1 million
Never mind.
each.
Moving on.
So that's one of those cars that people are going to buy and just put in the garage.
So you're buying a prototype, an art piece.
Lame.
It's pretty much an art piece. Did you guys hear about the guy that took a Pagani?
Huayra?
I think it was a Huayra, and used it as a wall divider in his New York.
It's a Zonda R.
You're right.
Yeah.
Zonda R, and used it as a wall divider in his New York apartment.
But it's just the chassis. There's no engine in it.
Yeah, I hope not. It'd be
Yeah.
hella heavy on a wall. How do you even mount that? You go to
Do you think
Best
they-
Buy,
do you
you
think
just get
they
a bunch of
built it?
TV mounts.
You think they disassembled it and built it in the apartment?
If this guy can afford
An apartment
a
in New York.
Zonda R and an apartment in New York, yes, I'm pretty sure they probably just sky craned it up,
Yeah.
sent it
They
inside.
probably took out the windows, put it in, but how do you mount that on a wall? You just buy a bunch of TV mounts from Best Buy and then just mount it to each of those TV
I don't
stands.
know.
Let me tell you, this guy gives no Forester Ultimate customized kit specials.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Well done. Well
That's
done,
pretty cool.
sir.
Yeah, I remember seeing a photo of that and I was wondering if all of the fluid would fall out.
Yeah, it's fully gassed up.
Ma, there's
Fresh
washer
oil
fluid
change.
on the carpet.
Ma!
Ma, the Zonda's leaking again.
Call the plumber! Yes, our New York accent is on point.
Anyway,
That
one
was
more.
a New York accent. What was that?
There's one more car I just want to briefly touch on that was at the Tokyo Auto Salon. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more cars. It is a 2020 Honda Civic Type R. I like this car.
What's so special about it?
It comes in a all-new color called Boost Blue.
That's it.
Blue.
It has revised styling, more safety, new two-piece rotors, pads that are less prone to fading. It has 306 horsepower, sending it to all two front wheels. And we don't even know what the US spec is.
Yeah,
The color Boost Blue just tingled my brain a bit, so I figured I'd talk to you guys about it.
They got rid of the
that
fake.
does look kind of cool though.
They got rid of the fake vents in the front.
It looks a bit softer. A lot of people's complaint with the Civic Type R, where they're like, "Oh, it has fake carbon fiber on it. Like, it's 60 grand, and it's got fake carbon fiber lips."
I don't blame them. I wouldn't blame them for fake carbon fiber.
It's a Civic, bro.
I know, but like if you're gonna, why fake carbon fiber? Just don't put it at all.
Because it would be like 10 grand more if it was real.
No, just don't put it then.
Fair. I mean, I
It's-
guess it could just be like black.
You
Dude,
could get that fake carbon fiber from eBay and wrap it yourself.
I got a
Sweet.
quote
You know?
for a carbon fiber lip on a 340,
Yeah.
$1,300 for a lip.
Is that aftermarket?
Nope, that's BMW.
BMW makes OEM carbon fiber lips.
Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
it's an option on cars. Be a great option for us to be able to turn off that fan that's probably making a lot of noise right now.
Nah, we should be fine.
That's okay.
Another just interesting thing I saw in the news, these two guys who work for General Motors were racing a
Oh,
pair of C8 Corvettes
Yeah.
down a main road, and they went to jail. The cars were towed and they went to jail, and the article I read was saying they don't know if they still work for... They don't know if the two guys are still employed. I hope they are still employed. I don't think... What do you guys think? Do you think they should get fired for that? I don't think so.
I wonder if that was true or just
Oh no,
a
it's
made
true.
up story.
Nope, it's true.
No,
It's
it's true. I
completely
saw
true?
I saw a couple articles pop up.
Okay. I haven't read up on it. I just kind of saw a headline. That's about
What do you
it.
think of the C8?
I think it's cool. I
Yeah.
would if I was in the market for a exotic supercar kind of thing, I would go with the C8.
Mm-hmm.
It's moderately priced,
Yeah.
and so far the specs look pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of car for how much it costs. Obviously, it's not cheap, but I like how it's similar to the Mark IV Supra in that the driver's seat and the cockpit are kind of aimed at the driver.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
like everything's kind of aimed at you.
It's
The
very
dash, the shape of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool looking car. So yeah, they got arrested. They went to jail.
Yeah, they were doing like well over 70 miles per hour.
Sorry, I don't understand that.
I know it's like about 130 kilometers an
Something
hour.
like that.
130 real time
Yeah.
speeds. Nice.
Anyways, moving on.
You mentioned a C7.
Oh yeah. So we got a
Being-
C7 traded in,
Okay.
and it's a really nice car.
Yeah.
Our boss brought it into the shop, put it in
Wait,
track.
you saw a C7? Wait, no,
No,
C8's the
yeah.
new one. Sorry.
There's a C7 Z06
Yeah.
that got traded in, and it's quite nice.
They're
He
juicy.
put it in track mode and let us hear the trumpets.
Oh, okay.
It was really loud,
That's
like
a ve-
unexpectedly loud.
That's a very polite way of saying you revved the piss out of it.
No, no, we did not. That's not what we did. Carrying on.
Moving on. Keishan, what do you got for us today?
We talked about some hot hatches and how they're slowly becoming popular but kind of niche. But what is becoming popular at the moment is SUVs and crossovers, and specifically motorized SUVs and crossovers. So electric SUVs and crossovers. One headline that really struck a lot of people badly, especially Tom Russell, if you're watching this.
Rip.
I know you're going to run away because I'm about to say the Mustang Mach-E.
And I'm not letting you pass me. Carry on. Mach-E.
The Mach-E, I personally, before I get into like the details of it, a lot of you have probably already read about it, seen pictures. I personally think it's a cool crossover that Ford has designed and is making a mass production of it for consumers. The name irks people in the wrong way.
Yeah.
But they put the name there for people to listen to the car. You know, if they did like a Ford Escape electric, they already had a hybrid. What's so special about an Escape
That's true.
full electric, right?
So it's a crossover, not an SUV?
Yeah, it's a crossover.
Technically a crossover, like a Forester type. Like
Well,
that's a
it's-
crossover.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Think X3 or no, think X4.
That's crossover? At what point does a crossover cross over to
think
an
about,
SUV?
Think about it. I'm talking shape wise. Like it's
Goddamn
kind of
it.
like slant roof, like really dramatic roof line. It just looks like a lifted version of another car. Like it's a crossover. It's not Expedition. It's not Explorer size.
So like a beefier saloon.
Sure.
Okay.
And it looks really good in this blue.
a little more
Yeah.
upright, eh?
So what's the numbers on this car? On this crossover, sorry.
So this crossover, let me see. I read up about it a few days ago, so let me just refresh my memory. So there's two options for it. There's a rear-wheel drive option and an all-wheel drive option. The rear-wheel drive option itself has a range of where'd it go? 280 miles. God damn Americans, man. What is the conversion rate?
That's probably
miles
about
to?
4 something.
Like 460-ish,
No,
maybe a
probably
little more.
less than that,
5.
around
450.
That's not bad, dude, for a crossover.
Yeah, dude, I could that'll be enough for me for like a
But
week.
Yeah.
if you pin it at every light, does that significantly decrease?
So that's the thing, though. This actually does have quite a bit of power. It has 75 kilowatt hours. So not that
Power.
much power.
Well, that's the battery's
400
capacity.
That's the battery's
459
capacity.
horsepower.
There we go. Okay, that's
612 foot-pounds of torque.
It's a lot of feet, man.
That's a lot. Well, it's electric
Many feet.
electric motors.
It's got some pretty beefy electric engines under the trunk floor hood. I don't know. Like, I have not spent
Okay.
any time with an electric
Ramsey
car.
is not on episode 3 because
I-
he keeps saying engine and motor. And
Electric engine. What do you think of the Mach E though? Seriously, like honest opinion,
besides the just
All
power
of it.
alone,
just all of
I
it.
would rep it. But besides the power, I would drive it. It's a good daily driver, I believe.
Solid car.
I wonder what the towing capacity is, because if you want a crossover or an SUV, I mean crossovers aren't really designed to tow though.
No, you could tow like a
don't-
small RV or a boat,
Yeah,
but
smaller. Oh yeah, maybe a Miata.
yeah. What's
know?
cool? What I think like it's cool about electric vehicles with electric engines in them, the styling is just they can just push the limits of the styling because they don't need ventilation for radiators and engines and
And their hood lines can be lower. And if you say engines, I'm gonna throw a shoe at you.
well, no, I said they don't need vents for engines. Don't worry, I'm working on it. Okay, it's a work in progress. Mustang Mach E, I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's cool.
I think what's cool, or what people like that I think people are missing, is so like obviously the name is really pissing a lot of people off. But when you think of Mustang, you think lots of power, lots of torque, burnouts. So this comes in a rear-wheel drive option. It has 500, almost 500 horsepower. It has 600 foot-pounds of torque. That's all Mustang stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Have
But
they
is
done
that-
anything for
Is that the all-wheel drive option that
No,
has
he's-
500 horsepower, or the rear-wheel drive option? Because the all-wheel drive is a little more powerful because it has 4 wheels to turn.
I'm not sure actually.
so?
Go ahead.
But like,
forgot what I was gonna
if you look at the Mach E, it still carries a lot of the same design language that the Mustang has. So it still has that really dramatic rear slope. It still has the 3 individual taillights on each side.
Mm-hmm.
It still has the general shape of the headlights. Like
It's growing on me. I'm not gonna lie.
Even the cabin details are very sporty. It's very
It's
Mustang-like
definitely growing
inside.
on me. When I first saw it, I was a bit caught off guard, and
I think a lot of people
starting-
get caught off guard by electric vehicles, that like new electric vehicles, because they're so used to seeing grills. So like if you look at the Kia Soul electric, like it has no grill. It's just
Just a
a
block.
front.
Yeah.
And if you look at this Mustang, like it just doesn't really have a grill. It just has the emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's true. Yeah, we've been so accustomed to seeing grills.
BMW's massive like teeth grill, like a chipmunk looking.
It's getting
thing.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an Audi
It's
RS.
gonna be the front of the car.
It's growing.
It's
Anyway,
happening again.
Mustang Mach-E, electric vehicles are imminent, and there's nothing we could do about it because we consumed a lot of oil in the last 100 years.
So with consuming of oil, a lot of people kind of strayed away from larger vehicles. Takes a lot more fuel to power them to move. Do you think more people are actually going to go towards larger vehicles because they're electric, more affordable for consumables?
100%, because they don't have, they're not making an impact on the environment, really.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Are they? How so?
Battery mining for the batteries.
That's
the waste
That's an
from
episode in
mining.
itself.
Okay.
The
The energy required
the
to
ponds,
produce the batteries.
Or the lakes they have to make for the disposed acid.
What
They
I want to
can't.
know, in
Like,
let's
it's-
say in 20 years' time,
The shipping
say-
from China for batteries.
let's say 30 years' time, when these become old and rust buckets, like what happens to the batteries?
They're gonna have to get recycled. But the automotive sector is really good at being green because a lot of it is recycled. Like when you do an oil change, not like you go to somewhere, they do an oil change, that oil gets sent off to a plant that gets fucking pressed through a bunch of filters and screens, cleans it all out, so it's fresh oil ready to be reused. Coolant is sometimes okay for the environment, but again, that's something that gets recycled. Scrap yards, junk yards are just filled with cars that get recycled.
Yeah, that's
So a lot of cars are like
Still, a lot of waste.
there's a lot that goes into building a car, but there's also a lot of return from recyclables from cars, which is really cool. That's why Mazda 3s were so rusty that one year, because it was just like really bad metal. That
They were
was
just made with Pepsi cans and
pretty
stuff.
much, yeah.
Those are bad.
Poor
Those are
Mazda.
really bad.
Does the Mach-E has a H pattern shifter?
No, that's the Mustang, electric Mustang, not the Mach-E.
That was a third party company though. That wasn't made by Ford, was it?
I don't know. I didn't do a whole
I
lot
think
of
they-
research on it.
There is a
It
company.
was that was at SEMA in 2019. I remember we touched on that last time, I believe.
No,
Briefly.
we talked about it privately.
Okay.
But
There is a company out in California that does full like frame up restorations of like old cool classic cars, and they do an electric swap, and they'll give you the option of doing it either just automatic because you don't need to change gears, or they'll do a manual swap, and you can just roll through the gears in your electric car, which you kind of don't need because you come to a stop, you're not turning an engine.
There's no flywheel.
So you don't
spinning,
really
right?
need. The only time you ever need to press the clutch is when you go to change a gear. But you can literally just sit in second gear all day, and it'll be fine.
Just
Is that
You
true?
mean-
Maybe the design of the powertrain may differ from car to car. Like, how do you think they match up these transmissions to the motor?
Adapter plates, the same way you do. You put a 4.6 LE transmission
I mean, there's
on
bound
a
to be an output
2JZ.
shaft to a differential, right? Same way.
Yeah, because most of these restorations are old cars, so they're usually rear wheel drive.
One thing I'd like to talk about in a future episode is electrics, like Tesla swapping numerous different cars.
Tesla swap.
Like people will take a Tesla power plant and put it in a retro or iconic car and just make a monster.
that's kind of what I guess that's kind of what
That
they're
it-
doing, right?
Yeah.
That company, but it's more Tesla based. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool. There's a lot of crossovers. The CX-30 by Mazda
yeah.
has something cool. I know you did some research on it. Do you want to talk anything about it?
I can't do a rotary sound. It has a rotary range extender in it.
But the range extender isn't actually for making power.
No.
It's for recharging the battery.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how silent it would be.
what I want to know is if you put a dirt nasty fart can on that range extender, it's bound to have a muffler, right? Or an exhaust. It has to exit. The fumes have to exit out
It's
somewhere.
probably like a tiny rotary though. It's
What if it's like a rotary and
like
you're
13
just putting along the highway and it's like brr, 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 like just farting away wherever it is in the trunk, on the roof, wherever they put it.
maybe
Huh?
I don't know.
maybe.
This is why we're not car designers, clearly.
I mean,
Clearly,
'cause
if
we're
I
all
designed a
just
car,
wanna
it would
shoot
look like a
flames and-
rectangle. So I've tried to draw a car, even with a photo of it
Were
right
you the
beside me.
designer of the Cybertruck by any chance? Drawing rectangles and stuff? Was that you?
John Rectangle?
John
I
Rectangle.
thought you said
John?
John Rectangles. Drawing rectangles.
Hi, I'm
John
John. John
Rectangles.
Rectangles.
Anyway, moving on.
Changing
I
my name.
think
You guys heard of vehicle subscriptions?
never.
You've never heard of it?
Never.
It's crazy.
Well, I just heard you say it right
What?
now, but
Okay, so these are a lot of these are coming up as like a pilot project because this is a new idea that some auto manufacturers are coming up with. Cadillac is doing it. Their website says we're not accepting any new clients, so I couldn't give you any info on that or on Cadillac's way of doing it. I have 3 examples: BMW, Land Rover Jag, and Porsche. Oh, and Volvo.
okay.
Okay, so what a subscription means is you pay a initial fee to sign up for the program, and then all these ones that I have there's different like levels that you can do. So they're categorized, and each category you pay more for the next one up, and there's like a class of cars that you can buy or you can have for that. And usually it's 30 days with a car, and then after 30 days you can either keep it but they'll just exchange that car for the same car. Or you can modify your plan. So if you want to go to a step higher or pick another car in that range that you're paying for. The insurance is covered. The maintenance is obviously covered because a lot of these companies do maintenance warranty for like 4 years, 80. So your maintenance is covered even if you just bought the car anyways. And they usually give you like a mile range. Like you can do 1,500 kilometers a week.
Okay.
So it's usually delivered right to your door. Insurance, gas, everything. Well, the gas isn't, but it comes with a full tank of gas. It's cleaned. It's like you bought a car. So for BMW, they're only doing it in Nashville, of all places.
I guess it's gonna be like a pilot project first.
Yeah, but why Nashville? That seems like such a weird.
I don't know. Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, Billy Ray Cyrus kind of thing.
Sure.
Maybe there's not a whole lot of car ownership, but a lot of leases there.
Maybe
that's kind of what they're trying to find, like a city or a township that doesn't really have a lot of drivers in it to see how well it would do. Anyway.
So for BMW, there's 3 plans. So it starts at Icon, which is $998 a month. You get a 330, 340, M240 convertible or an X3. Not bad.
M240 is a pretty good option.
Then there's Legend. That's $1,399.
Is this US dollars? Because it's in Nashville, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You can get a 530e hybrid, a 540, so the straight 6, X5, X with the 3-liter, not the V8, 440, an M2, and a 440 convertible. And then the M is $2,700 a month.
Wow.
That's M5, X5, X6M, M4, M6 convertible.
That's crazy.
Wait till you get to Porsches.
Oh,
well, this is per month, right?
Per month.
Per month. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this just so you can try the cars out?
No,
Or-
you can literally just go
What's the
years
intended
like
purpose?
this. You
Is
just
it-
get a new car every month.
It's a.
They usually let you, like, let's say you get bored of a car like halfway through. You usually pay like 200. Like, there's a fee, and they'll let you exchange your car. Except for Volvo.
Okay.
Volvo gives you have to have the car for a year,
Okay.
and you sign a 2-year contract.
So at the end of the month, you're like, I'm done. I'm done with the X6M. Give me the M5.
Yeah.
It's like phone plans.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So Land Rover does one as well, same as before with the insurance and the maintenance. But they don't have very many cars, so it's kind of limited. Gold starts at $1,088. You can get a Land Rover Discovery Sport or an F-Pace.
Okay.
Platinum's $1,670.
Wow.
Range Rover Velar or the Discovery, and then Diamond is $1,960 for just the Range Rover Sport. So for Land Rover, you get a new car every 6 months, or maybe sooner. Their website's kind of vague because it says "or sooner."
Or sooner. I guess this is new, right? Like this.
Yeah.
Is just.
They give you 1,500 miles per week, so it's about 3,000 kilometers, like 2,700 kilometers a week, which is a lot of driving.
Tell me about the Porsches.
Volvo's is really annoying, but theirs is kind of cool. So they give you, it's a 1-year contract, 1,500 miles a year, so about 28,000.
A year, 1,500 miles.
A year, which is about 2,800,
1,000,
28,000, 15,000.
15,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about like 28,000 kilometers a year.
Okay. I don't even.
Yeah,
do
because
that.
the average Canadian does 20,000 kilometers a year.
Yeah.
And they don't offer this in Canada.
Obviously. We don't get anything cool.
But their plan is really cool because it's a flat rate.
Except for this podcast.
There's a sign-up fee, and then it's $970 a month.
Yeah.
Flat fee,
Okay.
and you can pick any car in their lineup.
That's pretty
So
sweet.
it's not like a tiered plan. It's just any car in their
flat
lineup.
fee. It's kind of like a gym membership. You got like a basic one, you know, you just get to go to the gym and leave. You got the upgraded one, you get a massage bed and a tanning bed. And the upgraded one, you get a personal trainer or whatever it may be. I guess there must be a market for it, right? If they're doing it, or this is still in trial phase.
You know
But
what? I could see
It costs them nothing to do it.
What about the Porsches?
Yeah.
Before we discuss this, I want to know what I can.
Porsche calls it their
spend all my money
Porsche
on.
Passport. It's a month-to-month
Very German.
subscription. Initial sign-up is $750.
Okay.
This is Canadian. They
Oh.
do offer it in Toronto.
Wow.
So they have the launch tier. That's $3,200 a month.
Wow.
Cayman S, Cayman GTS, Boxster S, Boxster GTS, Macan S, and the Cayenne.
Just a quick question: can you do it for just 1 month if you wanted to?
I think so. I think with Porsche,
So like if you
can.
just wanted to rent a Porsche for a month, essentially,
it's
for
it'll-
$3,200, split it with a couple dudes.
plus the 750 sign up fee.
Okay.
There.
Yeah,
And then there's the accelerate tier. It's $4,200 a month.
wow.
What does that come with? It has to be good.
So that's 911S, 911 Carrera 4S, 911 Carrera S, 911 Carrera 4S Cab, Panamera 4S, and the Panamera 4S GTS.
I mean, you may as well just finance the car at that point.
But see,
you get the
and
maintenance and
sell
everything.
it.
all-
you never
guess.
you don't lose out on depreciation for the car.
This is for a market of people who are quite wealthy, though. You know, this is not for your average
see,
person.
the Volvo one is kind of reasonable.
For sure, but the Porsche
Actually,
and the
no,
BMW.
it's not. What am I talking about? 970 a month. But it fits for the people that would buy these cars generally, because like,
You have to have $2,000 minimum to spare a month to have this.
but the people that are financing or leasing these cars have that already.
Yeah.
So
that's
why not
true.
attract more people
I guess
into
yeah.
a car that you're not gonna that you can just resell as a used vehicle and make more? Your profit margins are going to be larger on that than a new car.
Because then I guess they could just test out the whole lineup, and then after a year, just decide which one they want to buy. Maybe.
Or just keep.
How do
doing
they
it.
feel about going to the racetrack in these subscriptions?
That's what I actually wanted to ask. Like, do they
Well,
have
there are
limitations?
wear and tear clauses on each. Now it's going to be different between each.
Like, let's say you go to the racetrack. Yeah, you wear the tires down and the brakes. Obviously, take care of the car. Don't throw it into a wall. But are they gonna hit you with a couple grand?
Yeah.
Fine. Like not 5 fees.
But
Really?
yeah,
I think that's silly because you're buying a Porsche to drive fast.
but you don't own it though. You're renting it.
Okay, see
But it's
that
a
that turns me
subscription,
off.
though.
Yeah,
From
but
it.
it's still renting it. You're paying a month, sure, but you're renting it because you're not owning it. You don't have any ownership of the vehicle.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Thank you for
I
sharing.
mean,
that,
they should have
honestly.
like a sport
That's,
package though. Say you're an enthusiast that wants high performance cars. Do you think there's going to be shops or private subscription dealers? that
There are.
offer
I
this?
actually did come across one in Canada that's a subscription service,
Okay.
but the model range is like all over the place. Like you can get a Porsche Cayenne, and then there's like like a 2011 Subaru Forester. And you're
Do you
like,
think
what the
this, if this kicks off, it'll be available for more average consumer vehicles like Civics and Elantras and stuff like that? Like, is it even worth it at that
fuck?
point?
I don't think for like a Civic or an Elantra it's worth it.
No.
because you're going to be paying a little bit more to do this because there's more processing involved in the turnover of each car. So they have to pay the guys that are detailing these cars more frequently, doing maintenance on these cars more frequently. Like they have to cover some more costs. So you're paying a premium for the flexibility.
Okay. What do you think?
Convenience always costs more.
What do you think benefit to the manufacturer?
Getting more cars out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
Getting
think?
as
Do you think
many-
at the end of, like, let's say 5 years goes by, the car has been occupied for every single month? Do you think at that point they will sell the car as a used vehicle?
I'm sure they have a so like BMW says any car under 10,000 kilometers is still considered new.
Cool.
So
That's good.
they can sell it either as a new car or a used car. Now for Volvo's case, because it's on a 1 year rental, it would have to be sold as a used vehicle, but they can make more money off a used vehicle. And if you're buying a Volvo for 70 grand, it doesn't cost them 70 grand to make.
I guess by the time it's a used vehicle, they've recovered the entire cost of the
Yeah.
car.
So they're essentially, instead of this car sitting in a lot waiting for somebody to buy or lease it, they're just collecting income on it until it gets sold as a used vehicle.
Smart. That's cool. That's cool.
Like my E90 cost BMW about $6,600 to make at the time, and they sold it for
What?
like 40.
That's a crazy markup. I think this is,
You got to pay R&D. R&D ain't cheap.
yeah. Now, they spend millions of dollars R&D on
day.
suspension.
A day.
And then you go and you slap $300 coilovers on the
I
car.
knew you were going there. I knew it.
So that's quite a bit of information. The car world is evolving like crazy. Like it's changed
They
since
have to.
in the last 10 years. I think it's changed more than it has in the last 50 years. Is
Yeah,
that
the 90s was pretty bad for cars.
manufacturing, like oil crisis and economic recessions, and there's
Yeah.
no fuel, no money, but it's
think
an
just
exciting
generally
time.
now,
It's an exciting time for sure.
yeah.
And 2020 forward. I think from now till 2025, we're going to see a rise in electric vehicles. Manufacturers are they're trying to make the transition as smooth as possible between, just so people are comfortable with it. But just like in 10 more years, there's going to be so many cars on the planet. Where are we going to put them?
Recycle. A lot of those.
Dude, we're running out of space.
No. You don't have to just recycle it into another vehicle. You could take those parts, melt it down.
It's crazy.
You could create.
We got to build
housing.
up and down, not out.
Up and down, not out. Just because like third world countries, not third world, so developing countries now are accelerating their development at a faster rate because of technology, which means lower middle class and middle class people can now afford the same luxuries as, the higher class. So they're going to start buying cars, and everyone's buying cars, and all kids have cars now. Like 16-year-olds all have freaking brand new cars now. Where are they all going to go?
Into the tree because they don't know how to drive.
Or the lamppost. Just make fun of myself.
Did you hit a lamppost?
No, it hit me.
Damn, those moving lampposts. Am I right?
Anyways, that was some good conversations. What? Anything else you guys want to touch on?
I think that's pretty good. That's a lot of info.
Briefly, okay. I want just give me 20 seconds. I'm gonna say a thing and just tell me how you feel about it in 20 seconds. Ready? Crackle tunes.
Bad.
Get the fuck out.
They're cool if a manufacturer does it. You're driving aggressive. You downshift. You get a couple breps. That's cool. But when you're in stop and go traffic, you move up 3 inches and your cars are like.
Very annoying.
Or you're just going for a walk and you're like, oh my god, gunshots! Get inside. They're pretty aggressive. Like, I can't lie, they sound.
BMW guys are pretty bad for it. Although I saw a brand new Mercedes, not a G-Wagon, but
the big SUV.
Their big SUV. One came by me at the at the Superstore parking lot, and the guy was just cruising through the parking lot, and it was crackling and popping. And this is like brand new, and there was an older gentleman, so I don't think he got a crackle tune for his.
Well, don't the AMGs have like? When the sport mode is engaged, it pops and bangs a little bit.
Yeah, but. Like you're in a parking lot grocery store. Like, why is your car popping and
probably
banging?
His kid probably drove it in sport mode, left it in sport mode.
And then the dad's probably like, "Why is it making so much noise?
My car's misfiring. What the hell?"
Oh, Jimmy, you're gonna get it. Anyways, thank you very much.
That's it. You only had the one you wanted to say. There's nothing else.
No, we're just about out of time now, man.
All right, Dan.
We'll save it for next time, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy these conversations just as much as we do, because we really do. Yeah. And I still have a joke to tell you guys. And just before I tell you the joke, this podcast is available on YouTube. It will soon be available on your favorite podcast streaming platform. So we're working hard to get that going in the near future. You can check out Brandon on Instagram. That's at GreasyFix_Brandon. At KeishRS92. I'll put the names up because I think there's an underscore in there.
Yeah.
And I am at Panorams, panning up and down and left and right.
Pan up and down, camera.
Up. So before we exit today, and before I forcefully make you exit, I was having a rough sleep last night, man. I kept dreaming about mufflers, and just all shapes and sizes of mufflers.
Stop.
And when I woke up, I was exhausted.
Stop. Fuck.
I'm going to suck on a tailpipe.
Guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.